is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with another video. For Saturday, we're going to talk about the Golden State Warriors player, Marquses Chriss. I thought it was a little interesting looking at what he has done for Golden State, a guy that a lot of people consider to be a bust and a guy that didn't really fit in Phoenix, never could really get any offense going. Never was a great rebounder in Phoenix, even though he got enough minutes for us to see him and see him play and see what he can develop. He got multiple times in Phoenix to really show what he was made of. 2 years, and then he gets bounced around the league, and he really couldn't find a home, and he really never developed to the point where he earned to be a starter and a consistent starter. He never was an impact player either, but him going to Golden State was important just because they was desperate. They needed some size. They needed some mobility. And Marquese Chriss was a guy that had the potential to be a lanky, mobile big that can space out the floor and, get out in transition because he's just so long and so fast. The thing about Marquese Chriss that a lot of people forget that he only been in the league for a couple years, but he's only 22 years old. He's going to be 23 this year, and that's very, very young. So I can understand why a team like Golden State will take him in and see what they can do to help him and be strict on him and just basically help him to develop into a role player. And you don't expect that from a lottery pick, but at this point, they was desperate to get some talent, and he has enough to offer, and then they just put him in a position to where it worked for best for him, but he also had to evolve, and he also had to recreate himself a little bit to get on the court, and it's good that they gave him the opportunity because it was looking kind of bleak for Marquese Chriss. It looked like it was going to be the end for him just because only a certain amount of teams going to want to try you out. Plus, you got to try out and make the team. Size can't teach that, so it does help that he's tall and has the physical tools to, make a roster, but he still have to produce. He still has to go out there and play, and he still have to be productive and make some type of impact when he's out there on the court, unless he will be another guy that's out of the league. When I seen them pick up Marquese Chriss, I was like, they're kind of desperate just because this is a guy that the NBA has almost gave up on. But it was humbling for him to see that the teams was shrinking and his opportunities of staying in the NBA was possibly coming to an end. And on top of that, you don't want to be out of the NBA before you're even 25 or 30. You want to make this a career. You want to be able to, be an impact player, especially when you're drafted that high. You have expectations, you do have pressure, and you don't want to become a bust or a fail. And that's what he was on pace to be. And he still might be, because you look at where he was picked at, he might still be considered a bust, even if he's a role player, just because he doesn't look like a starting center, even for Golden State, especially in the future. Plus, they got a top 10 pick guaranteed this year, possibly, and they can easily replace Marquese Chriss with a guy that's probably more versatile and more ready than he is at this point in his career. And then he can just be a backup on a cheap contract that you can keep around because he can produce for the value of that contract, or you can always let go and find somebody else that might fit the team or be better than him just because they was desperate, because when they made the trade for D'Angelo Russell, it put them in a messed up situation. As y'all know how the contract is and how they got the contract, they only had so much wiggle room. They only can add so much talent, and then they didn't expect Steph Curry to get injured so early in the season and miss that much time, that this whole dynasty thing took a big hit, for them to go to all these finals and now not even come close, even being the worst team in the NBA. If the season is over, they're going to go from being the best team in the NBA to the worst team in the NBA, and that's just embarrassing. You can't have that happen. But things do happen, things do come up, things mess up your plans, and if they can come back healthy, they're going to be dangerous, especially with that top 10 pick, or even if they flip it into a veteran, that's an asset regardless. And one thing I say about Marquise Chriss, he took it serious. Like I said before, he was humbled, saying that his opportunity in being in the league is almost over. Maybe he did need a change of scenery. Maybe he did need a stricter coach and a better system that he can learn and really figure out. And they had to invest in him just because they was desperate for talent. So they was willing to help him develop and grow because they needed him to produce, because that's the whole point of them signing him, and he did. So you do have to give Marquise Chriss his credit. He did go out there and play. He did show some differences. He did show some changes. He did show that he can be a okay player, which he didn't show in his last couple years. And I think that was impressive because I was a guy that was out on Marquise Chriss, and he at least proved to me that he can be an NBA third string center. But like I said before, the guy is only 22, and if he can find another place where they need him and they willing to invest in him and really allow him to grow and become part of their culture and become part of what they're trying to do as an identity, he can easily be a second, the backup center at this point, or even play some power forward depending on what lineup is out there. And that's a role. And if you can find a role, you can be in the league 5 to 7 more years if he can continue to play in this type of way, giving you some decent offense, showing a lot better finishing, showing a lot better touch and confidence in his game. This could be the thing that he needed to showcase, okay, Golden State is on TV. A lot of people was watching. A lot of people know their situation, and he took advantage of that opportunity and made it seem like he's a serviceable player, which is good. And that's something that you want to see when you have your back against the wall and you have everything going against you and things not going your way. Is you going to quit? Is you going to give up? Is you going to fight? Or is it you going to have the best season of your career, possibly, when you're almost out of the league? And when you look at his rookie season with Phoenix, he played 82 games and he started 75 of those games. And he shot 44 from the field, 32 from three, but he shot 62% from the free throw line. Only was able to get 4.2 rebounds and 9.2 points in 21 minutes. And Golden State, he only played 59 games, but he gave you 20 minutes. But gave you 54% from the field and less shot attempts at 6.5 field goals a game. Not only that, the guy also shot 76% from the free throw line, which is a huge improvement over his rookie season, which was his best year. He gave you more rebounds in those minutes with 6.2, gave you 2 assists and 1 block and 9.3 points per game in only 20 minutes of play. That's a huge improvement all over the board, and that's the type of season that you want to have when you're back against the wall and things are going against you, and he did it. Now it's just about being consistent. If you see this opportunity as a rebranding and a reimaging of yourself, you have to take it serious. Just because this is your job, this is your profession, this is what you eating off of. So you have to take this with heart, and I think he did. Never been the biggest Marquise Chriss fan, but I do give him credit. When everything was against him, he stepped up. He produced, and he showed that he can be a quality player in this league. And I like the fact that in 20 minutes he was productive. That's not that much minutes in the NBA, especially for a young prospect. And if he can get more minutes and he can continue to work on his game this offseason, because Golden State is going to be eliminated from the playoffs, even if the playoff dudes come back, they won't be playing in it. He can really become something better. He can become a better outside shooter and a better finisher still. He can become even better from the three-point line, which he didn't shoot that many this year or throughout his career. But at least he's showing that he's willing to take them, and he doesn't have a bad form on them. You can see by his free throw percentage. So after having his back against the wall and he performed, now we want to see, can he get better to the point where this isn't the best season. I want to have an even better season this up and coming season in 2021, 2020 and 21 season. And I want to see if he can do it. I'm interested in seeing how far he can go. How far is he going to push himself? Because this opportunity can change the way we think and feel about Marquise Chriss, and it did to me. And hopefully it changed the way he thinks mentally after being thrown in the fire and being able to survive that and still show that he is better than what we thought. And he proved a lot of us wrong. But at the same time, this is only one season, and he has to do it again if you want to secure a long-term deal, even if it's a 3-year deal, even if it's a non-guaranteed deal, even if it's just a couple 1-year deals following around the league, that's better than being out of the league. I know he might still be considered a bust. I know a lot of you guys not going crazy over his numbers or crazy over his opportunity, but I'm not either. I'm just saying the guy improved, the guy was better, and the guy actually looked like an NBA caliber player. Do he look like a superstar? No. Do he look like a franchise player? No. Do he look like an all-star? No. But he does look like a player that can be productive in the league, and I didn't see that in Phoenix. I didn't see that in his whole career. He was a guy that was drafted based off potential, and that was really it. He had a lot of people hyped him up just because they see what he could be, and he never realized that potential. And that happens to a lot of the lottery picks that they're not drafting on what you can do now. They're not drafting on how you're going to be the first 2 years, but you only need to spend 2 years in Phoenix. They're looking at this guy has the body, the speed, the mobility, the touch to be something special if he puts the work in, if he really wants it for himself, and if he really loves the game of basketball. This is going to be his lifetime for a very long time because he has everything else. He just had to improve his skills, which he didn't until now. Now it's about can he do it again and how long can he do it? Because now I'm looking at Marquise Chriss and I'm a GM and say, yeah, he can be a good injury replacement guy. Yeah, we can have him on the roster just in case we make a trade. We know he can fill in to 15, 25 minutes per game and be productive. And that's something that I didn't see in his entire career, honestly. And now I think different about him. Now I'm interested in seeing can he keep this up? Was it a fluke? Was it a cause of the situation? Was it just an inflated number just because he played on a team that didn't really have that much talent? Clay wasn't there. Steph wasn't there. Draymond missed a lot of time. Was it the inflation? Or is it that this guy really want to prove that he still wants to be in the league and that he can still make an impact on another team? We won't know until the future comes. Will he be in the league 5 years from now? Will he be going in the next 2 years? Or is they going to look at it? He's only 23 when the season is over. Maybe he can be in the league for a couple more years just based off potential. But one thing potential does is it doesn't last that long when it comes to people willing to invest you once you offer a rookie deal. And once you offer a rookie deal, you're just going to be a guy that they have the option to want to keep on their roster or even want to sign you, which means the chances of you making to a roster is slim just because you have all the players coming in throughout the draft. Then you have the veterans and free agency. You have the players from overseas coming in, and you only can hold so many players on your roster. Will Marquise Chriss be able to cling on to a roster spot for the next couple years? Will he be able to find a team that's willing to give him some short-term deals to see if he can fit their culture and their style? Somebody has to believe in him. Somebody's going to have to try to get the best out of him. Is he worth that spot? If he worth that another chance? Golden State gave it to him. He made the best out of the situation, I would say, for him to speak for him. But I still want to see what he's going to do in the future just because he's an interesting guy at this point in his career, and he's already facing the ugly at this point in his career, and he handled it well at this season. Now I just want to see what he do in the future. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think Marquise Chriss will forever be a bust? Do you think that he still needs time? Do you think he needs to go to a team that's young so he can develop with him? Or do you think Marquise, he is what he is? This is as good as he's going to get, and that's it. But we really don't know until we see his career play out. Hopefully he's not out of the league. Hopefully he can find a spot in a niche and something that he can really rely on to cling on to, even if he's a third center, even if he's just a backup power forward or backup center in the future. Hopefully he's just not out the league before 25, because that's just not a good look and that's just not what I want to see, even if I'm not a fan of a person, just because this guy really has a lot of untapped potential and he's still very, very raw and he's still very, very young. And we knew that coming into the draft. And sometimes, like we see with big man, it takes them a long time to develop in the NBA, especially when you're not physically ready and you don't have everything prepared for you. They threw him into the fire in Phoenix, and Golden State really taught him how to be a man and how to know a role and how to defend and play your position. But if he ain't in Golden State, it don't look like a lot of teams might be willing to do that. And that's going to be the interesting part about it at the end of the day. When you look at his career 2 to 3 years from now, we're going to see where it goes. But other than that, check out my website, analysisplayground.com, link in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. It'll be in the description in the Facebook. Will also be in the comment section below. Like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want merchandise, you can find that in my description in the comment section below. You can also buy on Facebook. And also, if you're new to the channel, I make NBA videos every single day. Not only that, if you love the NBA, I do NBA breakdowns of players and teams and rookies. Also, I also do coverage of summer league. I also do coverage of season previews, trade deadline, free agency, the draft, everything you need. I got you covered, and I do it every single day. So you go expect a video. So you love the game of basketball and you love content about it, this is the channel for you. So like the video you haven't. If you already liked already, thanks for the love and support. And if you liked on Facebook already, thanks for the love and support. But other than that, Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, I'm gone. And let me know what you guys think about Marquses Chriss right now, his career, if he's a bust, or can he turn it around, or will he be out the league after, a couple more teams and be out before 25? Whatever you feel, let me know in the comment section below. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, I'm gone.